What's up, guys? Today we are reviewing the Icon Airflite helmet, the Rubitone version, I believe it's called. So I have made this video a couple times now, actually, or tried to make this video a couple times. This morning on my way home, I discovered that I had never pressed the record button on the camera. So hopefully this time it goes better. I've got the camera mounted to my handlebar bag recording. I've got the camera on my helmet recording, so it should be no problem. So to begin with, let's start off. We're going to go through the list. We're going to talk about the things about it that I really like, the things about it that I wish were improved upon, but there's not really anything about it that I outright dislike. So just got that going for it from the beginning. So to begin with, probably the most important, my favorite aspect, the visor, not just for the look, even though the look is awesome. Your field of view with this, the way that this is designed is just amazing. For anyone that doesn't know what it looks like, so it's very wide angle. I barely have to turn my head in order to see the blind spots to change lanes. From up to down, you barely have to move your head to look at your instruments. Depending on where they're at, you may not have to move your head at all. Or not just your instruments, but your gauges. Just being able to see that much at once, it almost kind of doesn't feel like you have a helmet on. It's extremely clear, extremely satisfying to be able to ride and just see so much more. Next, we will talk about, still talking about the visor, actually. Now, I think they call it, I'm not sure if they call it the face shield or a flight shield, but for the purposes of this video, forgive me, I'm just going to call it a visor because that's what I'm used to. To swap your visor is incredibly simple. You've got pieces on either side that pop off, no tools necessary, minimum amount of force, and yet at the same time feels very secure. You pop those off, you rotate your visor to the utmost position, and you'll see that the notches line up and you can just slide off the visor that you have. And then you put the new one on in the utmost position, close it, and then pop those pieces back on. It takes 2 minutes at the most, unless you're, fumbling. Maybe it's your first time and you're trying to figure out how to put it in the hole. So, the fact that they have so many different color visors, it comes with a clear. I bought the silver and a dark smoke. On top of that, these are just so these are, I don't know, I guess let's call it the base model visor. It's got the different colors. It's got the anti-fog coating, which works pretty well. It's not it's fog resistant. It's not, it still fogs up a little bit if you're over breathing or if you get all your vents closed, but it still does a pretty good job in my opinion. So all your base models have that anti-fog coating, but they don't have the pin lock insert on the base model. You have to specifically order the pin lock ready face shield as well as the pin lock insert. They also, along those lines, have something called the Protect Tent pin lock insert, which is if anyone's ever had glasses or seen anyone that has glasses that transition when the sun hits them, they go from clear to dark. It does exactly that. I think that's a very cool thing. However, I don't know that I feel like I would ever get that. I don't know. To each their own, I suppose. So there's a wide array of looks. You know, I actually think that the black helmet with gold visor looks amazing, but that's just not really my style. I'm more of a silver, so that's what I went with, and I think this looks pretty badass too. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. As far as accessorizing goes, you've got a spoiler on the back that you can order in a certain color, and it also, you know, pops off and it's very interchangeable, so that if you want to match the color of your visor, you can do that. So very easy to accessorize this helmet, make it look however you want. And then let's also not forget the fact that the helmet itself, with the way the visor is, it just looks intimidating from the front, from the side. It's just a badass looking helmet. Next, the wind flow. As far as the feel, you definitely feel the wind if you've got your vents open. They work. I don't know how to say it any other way than that. They work very, very well. I had the vents closed most of the time because of it being cold, and I'm trying to prevent myself from freezing. But it does work very well. Wind noise is a factor. However, I would not say that it's too loud, or it's certainly not loud enough, in my opinion, that would make it a deal breaker, or even close to that. Really, like I've got another helmet that I feel like is louder than this one, and there's no excuse for it because the vents don't really do shit. So I will say, when I first put this helmet on, I thought it was very quiet, and the next day I went back and had the Bluetooth installed in it, and got the speakers and everything, and I do feel like I kind of struggle to hear the music from time to time. That could just be the lack of quality in the speakers, so I won't put that solely on the helmet itself. When I slow down, like right now, I can hear the music just fine on this exit ramp, but when I get up to the 80-90 miles an hour, it's definitely more of an issue. And the last thing that we'll talk about is the strap. I really like the strap on this. It feels sturdy, while at the same time it's not uncomfortable. The helmet I had before this one, the strap was very soft, which was nice that it was soft, but it was so soft that it was almost flimsy. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but it was, it was so soft that it, and thin, that it got tangled a lot. It'd get twisted in the D-ring, and I'd have to sort through it in order to make the quick release work. And the snap on the strap is very easy to find. I tested it earlier, and I was able to strap my helmet and snap it with gloves off, with just one, or with gloves on, with just my left hand. So I'm very satisfied with the strap. So all in all, those are all the different parts of this helmet that I think are awesome. So now we're going to talk about things that I wish that were different with it. However, these are things that I don't feel like take away from the helmet at all. First and foremost, on that strap, if you're familiar with the Ruroc Atlas helmet, you know that it's got such a thing called the Fitlock system. And what that is The strap is in two parts, one on each side, and it's got magnets, and it holds together with magnets. And I know some of y'all may think that that's not a very secure system. Let me tell you, I've read the articles and seen some of the videos on this, and using that system without any sort of extra thing, they were able to hold a motorcycle in the air off the ground using just those two magnets, you know, using just that strap. So that thing ain't coming off unless you pull that quick release. There's a red tab on it. You pull that and it disconnects. I really wish that this helmet had that. I wish that all helmets had that, but is what it is. The second thing that I wish was different is, as awesome as these face shields are, these visors are, I wish that they were automatically, I wish they didn't even have these versions, these base model versions. I wish they were all pin lock ready from the moment that you get it. I just feel like in this day and age, with safety and everything should be paramount, I feel like it should be a, you know, a stock option, if you want to call it, you know. It's just my opinion. I understand you want to still make some money, but I just think it would be that there are plenty of helmets out there that the visor that they come with is already, you know, pin lock ready. The Rock Atlas, as a matter of fact, I believe it's one such helmet. Alright, so next, Bluetooth. Now if you look at the description of this helmet and many other helmets online, it'll say communications ready, and all of that means is that they have cutouts under the liner into the shell of the helmet. They have these circular cutouts for you to place speakers in. That's it. There's no other adaptation made to this helmet to accommodate your Bluetooth. In fact, unless you make some cutouts, you actually can't put a Bluetooth on this helmet with the clamp mount. You have to use the adhesive mount. So is what it is. Again, with the Rock Atlas helmet, there is a cutout in the back of the helmet. Like, they actually built the helmet with this compartment in the back for you to be able to, it just slides right in and you screw it in, and just by looking at the helmet you wouldn't know that it's got a Bluetooth in it. So I wish Icon had done the same thing. They have their own Bluetooth. You know, what would it take for them to have just made a, you know, an indentation or a cutout right here for the Bluetooth that they make, that you could just snap it in there and then it would be flush. It could already be pre-wired with their speakers. I think that would be amazing. Maybe they have that on a different model, I don't know. But based on this helmet, I think that would have been an awesome feature. Things, you know, things that I wish were improved upon. What are the is there anything else? So we talked about the Bluetooth, we talked about so your vent, especially your front vent right here, and some of you may think that because the camera mount's here that you don't get a lot of wind through this vent. You do. If you've got it open, you get tons of wind. That's why if you look at my my mounting video for this camera, that's why I've got my mic up here instead of down here, so that the wind noise doesn't become an issue if I ever have that open. However, what I will say is what they could have done definitely a lot different. The opening mechanism for this vent is on the inside, and so you have to dig your hand in with your thumb in order to change the vent, which can be problematic at times. I will say that it works well, but it is hard to get in there sometimes. They easily could have set up another mechanism somewhere else. And that'll be it as far as the things that I wish that they had changed. there was one more thing I need to talk about that I keep forgetting, and that is the internal drop-down visor, the sun visor. So first off, it's absolutely amazing in my opinion, especially I've got this silver thing which provides a little bit of tint, but certainly not sunglass level. But with the internal drop-down sun visor, you know, I don't have to worry about digging my sunglasses out and putting those on. It does a fantastic job. My very first helmet had this feature, my second one did not, and I definitely missed it. It's definitely something that I really love. So that would be the upsides and the things that I wish could be better. There's nothing about this helmet that I don't like. You know, there is certainly nothing that was an outright, oh well, I guess I'll just live with that, but I don't really care for it. No, I love everything about it. There is something else I was going to mention. So we talked about the, oh, alright. So you've heard me reference a lot of these points and things that I would like to be improved on in comparison with the Ruroc Atlas 2.0 helmet. Well, I feel like first off, this helmet and that helmet are very comparable just based on design and things that I have read and looked at. I bought that helmet and it never showed up. And after giving them $650 of my money, I feel like 10 weeks is just too long to wait. I mean, I waited 10 weeks, and there were other people saying that they'd waited, you know, 4 months and you know, god-awful amounts of time. I'm sorry. You're too busy giving all your helmets away to these, you know, YouTube creators that have, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers already, so that you can get free marketing instead of giving it to the people that actually gave you money in order to purchase this product, but you're still keeping the fucking money. Fuck you, Ruroc. I'm not okay with that. That really bothers me. So that would be the number one thing about this helmet, was I gave them my money, they gave me the helmet that I wanted. Boom. And that is without a doubt the number one thing. That I didn't think that would be an issue in the past. You know, that shouldn't be something that you have to worry about being a factor, but apparently it is. If you give the money, you have to make sure that you actually get the product that you're wanting. Thank you, Ruroc, for teaching me that lesson. I didn't think I needed it, but apparently I do. Alright, so those are the upsides of this helmet, and that's why I have the comparison with the Ruroc Atlas. I really wanted that helmet. However, I'm kind of glad the way things played out, because I really think that this one looks a lot better. But it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. We got a lot of videos coming up. We got different oh man, alright, so we've got phone mount reviews on the different phone mounts that I've used and the one that I'm using now. We've got saddlebag reviews of the ones that I'm using and the ones that I'm planning on getting here shortly. And we've got motovlog camera reviews of the one that I originally used versus the GoPro, and whether or not it was a decent starting camera to get started, and we'll talk about that in those videos. So as I said, thanks for watching, and I'll have something new up for you guys soon. Take it easy.